Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope that everything is going good in your world at this moment, whenever and wherever you happen to be. I hope that the Ascension symptoms are not that strong that you're able to go about your day-to-day lives. I know that for me, for the past 2 to 3 days, it's been pretty incredible, the Ascension symptoms. I've been sleeping 10 to 12 hours per day for the past 3 days, and before that, for weeks, I was sleeping 8 hours, 7, 8, 9 hours, never more than 9, usually around 7, 8. And I know it's been really strong. Like last 2-3 days, we've been at 99 on the Ascension symptoms scale. In fact, let me ask, I forgot to ask before I got on here, I'd like to be connected to my higher self. I'd like to be connected to Prime Creator. Am I connected to Prime Creator? Muscle testing says yes. Prime Creator, are we at 99 in the Ascension symptom scale? On the Ascension symptom scale today? Yeah, as I figured. We're still at 99, guys. Yesterday, as you know, I didn't get my podcast out until like this morning because we were without internet for 8 hours. That never happens here. We've always had really good internet. In fact, today the internet has been great. It's been high speed, more than normal. And I don't know what happened, but I was just moving right along, and I had done the reading. Everything was uploaded. I was starting to do the introduction, and then all of a sudden the internet went out. And I waited like an hour. I kept turning it on and turning it off. And it was just, I mean, have I not been saying that this is something the internet's been cutting out once in a while? But it was only for like 5 or 10 minutes. I couldn't believe 8 hours. And I just asked God to wake me up when the internet would be on so I could publish my show. Woke up at 7:30 in the morning, wasn't even on yet. Woke up at 9:30, not at all. I went back to sleep. At 10:36 a.m., I woke up, picked up my phone. The internet was still off. And while the phone was in my hand, it turned on. And I was like, thank God. And I published it. But, so, it wasn't really my fault, but I do want to apologize for any inconvenience it might have caused you in your morning commute. Maybe you had to go listen to one of your favorite episodes that you had already heard before. But I hope it was worth the wait. A lot of you actually have already listened to it, so I'm grateful for that. It was an incredible reading. Today, in the afternoon, the fire alarm started to go off randomly. It started beeping. I was boiling coffee on the stove just to heat it up. And that was it. It was like not burning. There was no smoke in here at all. But I turned on the fan and I opened the window, and my God, the sky was so beautiful. I mean, pink and purple. It was absolutely lovely. And there was this huge cloud in the shape of giant archangel-style wings. And it was really beautiful. And I just felt like the beeping of the alarm was God getting my attention. So I'd go over into the kitchen to turn on the fan and open the window. And there it is, this beautiful, glorious sky that I might have missed otherwise. So, and I want you guys to pay attention to the things that happen that lead to other great things. I mean, there's always going to be signs and things that happen that one thing leads to another, and things end up being really great. So, I don't know, just pay attention to that. The universe is speaking to you all the time, more than just in angel numbers and, more than just with messages on the TV or the radio. Sometimes you'll hear a song in your head that you haven't heard in years, and then you turn on like a show on Netflix or something, and there's that song, or you'll walk into a restaurant and that song suddenly is playing. And I don't know, maybe it might be claircognizance. Maybe you're thinking of hearing that song in the future, and on some level, it just comes to your mind, and now it's there and in your world. Like today I had a couple different songs at different parts of the day. I had songs in my mind, and they haven't really come to me yet, but I have a feeling in the next day or two I'll probably hear these songs again and go, oh yeah, that one was on my mind. So yeah, anyway, I'm sorry about yesterday. That just made me so upset. I was like, oh my God. The only time I was so late in getting a show out was when I was in the hostel that had internet. They just refused to reset it, and the very next day, like in the afternoon, they reset it, and then it was working again, and it needed to be reset again, and they refused again to reset it. And that was it. I just was like, that's it, dude. I couldn't. I left them a horrible review, and I left, and I had to like walk 2 blocks away to a cafe that had internet to do my show. It was completely unprofessional of them when, I asked from the very beginning before I paid them, hey, you guys have internet, right? And where are you going to put us? The internet works. And they said, yes. And I said, are you sure? And they said, yes. And I said, okay, I need to work and I need the internet. And meh. So anyway, that was the only other time, and that was when I was in Quito, and I didn't have a choice. I had to go there to get my visa, but I don't know. I was really upset yesterday that happened. Like, there was no explanation except when I went to see everybody else's internet. Everyone else's internet, like usually there's like 30 or 40 internets to choose from, and it went down to like 5, which means everybody else's internet in the building was also out. And then it said that I could get the free internet from the shop next door. So as I clicked it, it said that it's not working. So I have a feeling that it wasn't just my internet, it was all of the internet. And my higher guidance told me it was probably, what I got, at least when I asked, was the answer was the place where the internet tower or whatever is for the local neighborhood. The electricity went out. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that was like when I asked, that was the answer that I got. So in the morning, and I heard like an energy truck in the morning right before the internet turned on. So they have like, and it was sitting outside, and this is the exact same sound of the truck I heard the other day when our power had gone out. And, the other day was our power, not the internet, just everything. Right before I heard that big explosion. So it might have been another transformer blowing. But whatever it is, it happened. And sometimes there's things we just can't foresee. So whenever and wherever you are, I hope that when faced with, not really a crisis like that, but when faced with an inconvenience, I hope that you have the sense to recognize that there's a reason for everything, and the universe has got your back. And so whatever reason, I don't know why it happened, but it had to happen. And I think for me, I had to see that I would still have listeners. I think that was my fear. And when this happened, and then as soon as I got this, within 2 or 3 hours, I had the same number of listeners that I would have had I gotten it out last night. So thank you guys for your loyal support and for continuing, to trust in me and the fact that I am going to get it out when I can. If it ever happens where I don't get it out on time, you guys know I'm coming back, unless I'm dead, if you don't hear from me for like a week, possibly, maybe I died, I don't know. I mean, I'll let you know if I'm going to take a vacation or if I have to take some time. I'll even put a 5-minute version of the show out there. If there's some kind of emergency or something. But, yeah, I won't just leave you guys hanging unless there's no internet. That's the only circumstance. So, but I swear to God, I mean, for a couple hours there, I was like, oh my God, there's no internet. Maybe the apocalypse has happened and holy crap, this might be the end of the internet. And that's it. I was like really for like 5 minutes thinking, oh my God, maybe it's the end of the world as we know it. Anyway, yesterday, as far as the Schumann resonance in Italy, they said they had a maximum of 34 hertz in the morning, and then in the evening it was calm, and I couldn't even look this stuff up. It was like so annoying. I was like, dude, really? So I got it all queued up first before I even opened it up for tonight, because I want to make sure I have the information that you guys want to hear. So 10 o'clock UTC time this morning in Italy, there was no actual pause after yesterday's activity. The movements continued with a peak to 29 hertz at 20 UTC, with the more powerful activity occurred from 8 UTC with 2 peaks above 40 hertz, the strongest of which is 43 hertz at 9 UTC. And then it says in the evening report, even after previous significant activity, the movements continued, but with relatively low peaks, 20 hertz frequency, and are continuing around this magnitude. And so basically, the big news for today was 43 from Italy. And we're going to go into our 6 cities that we like to look into. Okay, California, 105 hertz frequency at 4 a.m. and 111 hertz frequency by 4 a.m. Did I say 11 a.m.? I meant at midnight. So sorry. I just got distracted for a second. All right. Hofuf, Saudi Arabia started off at midnight at 11 hertz frequency, and they went down to 0 by 4 a.m. So that calmed way down. That's crazy, right? And Lithuania started off at 154 hertz frequency at midnight, and by 4 a.m. they were at 155 hertz frequency. And again, this is a Schumann resonance. If you're just tuning in, let's see. At midnight in Alberta, Canada, the hertz frequency in the Schumann resonance scale was 226, and by 4 a.m. it was 237. And Hofuf, no, I'm sorry, not Hofuf, excuse me, Northland, New Zealand, started off at 18 hertz frequency at midnight, and they were also down to 0 by 4 a.m. Hulului, South Africa, continues to be at 0, 100% across the board. All right, lesson 93 in A Course in Miracles. I didn't get to that either yesterday. I didn't have any access to anything on the internet when it went out, so we had to skip a day. And I know there's always a reason for everything. We'll see what it is in time. But lesson 93 in A Course in Miracles at acim.org for the foundation of inner peace. This is the lesson for today. Light and joy and peace abide in me. Light and joy and peace abide in me. So let's see if there's any good things I could pluck out. The whole lesson is excellent, but it's very long. Here's something to say to yourself during the day. Light and joy and peace abide in me. My sinlessness is guaranteed by God. And it says to put away your foolish self-images. Okay. So light and joy and peace abide in me. My sinlessness is guaranteed by God. And this is what you need to do for your own salvation as well as the salvation of the world. You have to understand that what resides in you are those things. Light and joy and peace abide in me. All right, guys. I'm going to go over some common ascension symptoms that we've all been having tonight for tonight's topic, and I'm going to tell you guys, hopefully I'm going to be able to describe it. I am going to tell you about acupressure, points on your body that you can touch and push in for a good 15 to 30 seconds to alleviate all of the symptoms that we all have been suffering from, as far as a Schumann resonance going up, as far as the Ascension symptoms when we get the upgrades and the downloads and the light codes. We go through some pretty gnarly stuff sometimes. And I know for the past 2 to 3 days, I have been absolutely just exhausted. I've been out of it. I've been sleeping long hours. Before I was having insomnia. Now I'm just sleeping way too much. And I'll wake up in the morning and it feels like I haven't gotten any rest at all. Even though I sleep like a damn rock. Like I don't even roll over. It's like one position. 6 hours later, I'll wake up to go to the bathroom or something. And then, I'll go back to sleep. And again, up to 6 hours more in the same exact position. It's really freaky. The past week has been like that. So I think it's important for us to know. Today's going to be about self-care. It's just important for us to know how to take care of some of these issues when they occur. And if you get out a notebook now during the break, you can write down everything that I say, so that when you do have these symptoms, you could just be like, all right, write it in your notebook, take the paper with you, put it in your backpack or purse, and, just have it with you at work. So if you start to feel clear, when you're not feeling clear-headed enough, when you're feeling mentally foggy, or you get a neck ache, or whatever it is that you're getting, whatever symptom you're getting, I want you to be able to just do some self-care and kind of alleviate the pressure. Like if you're having sinus or a headache or whatever it is. So I'm going to go over what I have determined to be the top Ascension symptoms as of late. And we're going to go over that. As you recall, today is September 11th. 18 years ago, today is when the towers were attacked and all the planes were hijacked in the U.S. It was wasn't the first terrorist attack on American soil, because there had been a couple different terrorist attacks throughout history. One from, maybe 2 from Japan, or 3, actually. They hit Hawaii and Oregon, and then there was one on the East Coast as well, which is a Mandela effect. I don't remember hearing about Oregon or the East Coast, but it's now part of the history, which is really freaky. But so on the anniversary of the terrorist attacks, the organizations that claimed responsibility for it, Trump has invited them to the White House this week. In the worst possible taste ever. It's like he actually really hates the U.S. It's just, his actions are horrible. And so today, As you know, there was a Judiciary Committee hearing, and they wanted to see how many people are in favor of impeachment. Out of the Democrats in the House, 120 voted for impeachment. They definitely want impeachment. In the House, one Republican, thank you, Justin Amash from Michigan, he voted for impeachment. In the Senate, 4 Democrats voted for impeachment, and that's it. 2 of them are Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren, who are vying for the presidency for 2020. And Bernie Sanders, also for the Independent Party in the Senate, has voted to impeach. I don't know why there's not more people in the Senate willing to vote for this. It kind of gives me the creeps that people won't see what's been going on, and they won't capitulate to the will of the people, which is, first of all, he lost the popular vote. No one wanted him president at all. Some people did, obviously, but he lost the popular vote, and now everyone wants him to be impeached, and yet they're not. I don't know what's wrong with the Senate, but thank you, House of Representatives, for all of those of you who actually see the writing on the wall, and you see what's going on, and you see all the crimes this man has committed, the collusion with Russia and other countries over the needs and, I don't know, I won't say wants, but just the needs, really, over the U.S. Like, he's colluding with dictators. He's obviously, y'all know what's wrong with the guy. I don't have to go into it. But so today, on September 11th, it's pretty apropos that there was a vote taken, and that was the results, in case you were interested in knowing. CBS News has a website, and they list everybody who voted today in favor of impeachment. So that's going to be an ongoing story. I'll try to follow it to the best of my ability. Hopefully it'll all come to pass and he won't be the president anymore. But I shudder to think what Pence will do. So there's another wild card in the mix, but at least he's not completely crazy. I said completely because he's got some crazy stuff. Can't be in a room with a woman unless his wife is present. Like, what? I mean, does he literally not trust himself that much? She doesn't trust him. Sounds like she's she's controlling him. Anyway, I don't know. I don't care. It's not my circus, not my monkeys, not my pasture, and not my bullshit. Anyway, when I come back, we're going to go over acupressure for Ascension symptoms after this. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Do you ever wish you could look into the next chapter in your book of life and see what's coming next? What does the universe have in store for you? I can help you with that. I will give you a Celtic cross reading, which is 10 cards, or you can ask me 3 questions, and I use 3 cards per question. So that's 9 cards, or I can channel your higher guidance, or maybe God directly for you. Maybe you want to talk to your dear departed Aunt Edna, because maybe you have a few questions and she was the smartest person you knew. If your deceased relatives are available or your ascended masters, I can channel them for you personally. Let me have 1 hour to show you the future in your next chapter of your book of life. Readings are $75, and it takes me an hour to an hour and a half to complete. And for this price, you will also be hooked up to the healing grid around the planet for free, which means yours truly, me, I will be giving you Reiki 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the rest of your life. All you have to do is let me know. metaphysicalsoulspeak@gmail.com, and we will explore your future together. Yesterday I forgot to mention, because I was so upset about the internet, that when I woke up in the morning, the sun was shining super, super bright, and there was a definite silver light coming from the sun. It wasn't white, it wasn't yellow or golden like normal. It was like when the sun first came up, it was about 8 or 9 in the morning. I woke up, it came through the sliver that was open between my curtains again, and it was silver, absolutely silver, and it was so beautiful. And it caused me a great deal of fatigue. So I feel like we got a bunch of downloads yesterday, or DNA upgrades. Something happened, light codes, I don't know what. Have you guys been super fatigued? Because that's what I was feeling yesterday, all day long. And I mean, I had like hardly any motivation to do anything. I couldn't even hardly move. But that silver light was incredibly beautiful, but overwhelming. All right, so now let's get to tonight's topic. We're going to start with, the number one symptom of Ascension that everyone's complained about, tinnitus. That high-pitched, horrible ringing in the ears that you just can't seem to get rid of. We're going to go ahead and talk about that right now. It says, okay, according to China Edu Center, ChinaEduCenter.com, they talk about acupressure points for tinnitus. They say you can reduce tinnitus symptoms by massaging the pressure points. Now, massaging is massaging lightly with somewhat firm pressure, but don't be pushing on yourself super, super hard with acupressure. You don't want to hurt yourself. So we're going to start. I'm putting the phone down so I could do this as I'm telling you. See if it works, because I have really bad tinnitus right now. So it says the following are commonly used acupressure points for tinnitus that you can do on your own. Some of the pressure points. Now remember, acupuncture is with needles. Acupressure just with your finger, okay? Your fingers. So So since some of the pressure points are hard to press with your fingers, you can use an acupressure probe or a massage stick. I don't know what that means, but I think you can use a chopstick, the end of a fork, or a spoon, like the handle part, not the pointy part. You could also use, well, I won't say a pencil, but maybe a cap of a pen. Let's see what else. Let me think what else comes to mind real fast. Something that's not super sharp and pointy, like don't use a scissors or a knife, but maybe a Q-tip. Maybe you could cut the head off of a Q-tip and use that, or just use it with the head, with the cotton swab at the end. You can maybe use that as well. All right, so the first site is called Qigong SI1 or SI19. Qigong can be used to treat excessive ear pain, irregular ear discharge, and tinnitus. It's located in the hollow, directly in front of the ear. Press it lightly with your forefinger and massage in a small circle for 1 to 2 minutes with your mouth open. All right, I'm doing that right now. Okay, so the way, like when you gently touch your ear and you put a finger over the opening of your ear, and there's that weird little flap that sticks out. It's very small. Qigong is at the top of that flap. Wow, honestly, that actually just cured my tinnitus right there. The next site you can massage is Ermin TB21. Ermin can be used to treat discharge of pus from the ear, earaches, and tinnitus. It's located directly above the Qigong point. Press it lightly with your forefinger. Massage, again, 1 to 2 minutes with your mouth open. Now, Ermin is also considered the ear gate. It is where your earlobe starts at the top, where your earlobe meets there's like a little indentation where your earlobe meets your head, basically. So that is another place to relieve tinnitus. Now, Tingui GB2 is used to treat excessive itching in the ear and tinnitus. It's located directly below the Qigong point, which is the first one we talked about, and you press it lightly and again, or massage in a circle 1 to 2 minutes with your mouth open. Now this one is just if you touch the lower part of your earlobe and then you move your fingers up, and it's that in that hollow, right where your ear opening starts, it's right there in that little crook at the bottom of the hollow of your ear. Yifeng TB17 treats tinnitus, discharge, itching, and pain in the ear, and it's located just behind the earlobe. Okay, so it's not on your ear at all. Okay, it's right behind, and it's like on top of what your mastoid process bone is, which is that weird roundish bone. It's called a mastoid process because it looks like a weird shaped breast. But you can't see it, it doesn't show, but that's what it looks like. If you look at a skull and you just kind of massage that point, again, it's the same thing. You don't have to have your mouth open this time though. So that's for pain in the ear, discharge, and itchiness. Now, the Feng Qi GB20 can help reduce tinnitus, ringing, and buzzing, and is located behind your earlobe towards the top of your neck and the base of your skull. So it's kind of really the base of your skull on either side, the right and the left. Use your thumb or forefinger and apply pressure, and you could do a circular motion with the finger instead of just straight pressure, and that also will help. Okay. Ooh, I just did that. Oh, I feel so much better. All right, so the next symptom we're going to talk about is vertigo. So vertigo is also called dizziness. So if you're feeling a little bit dizzy, and you can't, it's an Ascension symptom. You can feel obviously in general, but if you feel vertigo or dizziness, the point is GV26, and it's your middle part of your upper lip, right below your nose. Push your upper lip into your gum, not chewing gum, but your gums that hold your teeth in place, and you hold it for 2 minutes. Just hold it firmly for 2 minutes, and that should cure vertigo or dizziness. Now, if you need a little bit further help, press the center, it's the center of your breastbone, and it's called CV17, and you just breathe in slowly and deeply, and do this for 2 or 3 times during the day to prevent and also relieve dizziness and vertigo if you are having that symptom. And that is found at Acupressure.com. Before we get into this next one, acupressure theory is based on the philosophy that pressure on certain points of the body will trigger a healing reaction and the release of chemicals which are called endorphins, and they modify pain, mood, and physical wellness. This chemical release is localized to pressure points that correspond through a possible physiological connection to the targeted problem. So just like with acupuncture, which literally will block a nerve temporarily in order to give relief, or to stimulate sometimes a nerve when you use moxa, which is basically it looks like a big fat cigar with the end lit on fire, and then the heat is transmitted to the needle, which is then transmitted to the nerve. I've had the moxa stick. I kind of like it. I like acupuncture. It doesn't hurt as much as you think because the needles are very skinny. They're very, very thin. But acupressure is what you do at home. So don't go shoving needles into these points, by the way. Please do not do that. I don't want you to hurt yourself. All right, so there's points on the head. Several acupressure points on the head have been used for fatigue, according to livestrong.com. Yin Tang is an acupressure point directly on the forehead. Anmian is a point found on both sides of the head, directly behind each ear. These points are categorized as relaxation acupressure points. And Si Shen Chong is an acupressure point at the top of the head and is considered a stimulating acupressure point. A small study involved 43 people with cancer-related fatigue. They evaluated using the stimulation and relaxation acupressure points for the symptom, and they did note a significant reduction of fatigue with both types of acupressure therapy. If you want to read the study, it was published in the 2011 issue of Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine, which is a journal. Okay, so other acupressure points on the upper and lower body are used by practitioners to address fatigue. The article goes on and it says, the large intestine point is found on palms of each hand at the thick area between the thumb and the fingers. And this also will alleviate headache, but it also is, so it's for fatigue and headache. The stomach point is situated on the inside of both of the wrists. The conception vessel is positioned right at the belly button, which is another point for alleviating fatigue. And the kidney point is located on the inside of each ankle. And then it says the liver points at the top of both feet, behind the toes. And the spleen points are at the lower shin on both legs. And it doesn't say on the outer or inner. So the Live Strong article doesn't really show pictures very well. It says the stomach points are directly below the knees on both legs, but again, doesn't say front or back. So screw this website. We're going to dump that one. We're going to look for this somewhere else. Okay, so K27 is located below the throat and the collarbones, and it's on either side of the breastbone, okay? So just on either side of the breastbone, right below your collarbone, there's like a little notch. And if you massage this gently, okay, this is excellent because this helps you with many things. It says this point, acupressure point on your chest, is an effective point to relieve fatigue, and it opens the chest and it makes it easier to breathe and helps you with the ability to breathe deeply. It also counteracts stress, and it's such a versatile, accessible point that it literally is effective for hundreds of complaints, according to acupressure.com. Okay, so the next symptom of Ascension is anxiety. We've all been having it anyway, right? We all knew something was going, and we just feel like a sort of anxious feeling. Sometimes it's positive anxiousness. It's, like, hey, I can't wait for this thing to happen. Oh, yeah. And sometimes it's just like you have a feeling of dread, a sense of, oh, God, I don't know if you guys have it when you go to sleep, or maybe when you wake up, you feel great, and then within 5-10 minutes, you remember what you need to do that day. It might be something you're not looking forward to, and that produces anxiety. Another reason why we have anxiety is when we want something and we don't have it and we don't know how we're going to get it. That produces anxiety. So, like for a teenager, it might be you need a dress for prom, but you don't have the money to buy one. Or you don't have a car to go into town to pick one out, or, something like that. But for adults, a lot of times it'll be like we want to ask our boss for more money or a promotion, and we're terrified. That produces anxiety. Or we have anxiety because we think we're going to die alone if we're still single. I've had that kind of anxiety before. Not having enough money, not knowing how you're going to make your bills. Money is a huge source of anxiety. Not having clear communication in your relationships, that can cause a great deal of anxiety. So we're going to talk about the yin tang pressure point. Now, this is a really excellent one. It's literally, you just put your thumb, your right thumb or your forefinger, it's right where your third eye is, dude. That's it. It's just right there in your third eye. Apply pressure in a circular motion for 5 to 10 minutes. Just close your eyes and massage your third eye with your right thumb or your right forefinger. And the pressure should be very gentle. Don't cause yourself discomfort. And this is according to mskcc.org. That's Memorial Sloan Kettering, I think it's community college.org. And this is to just alleviate stress and emotional pressure and anxiety. I mean, that's like super helpful, right? That's like one of the best ones I've found, and it's so easy. Now, to relieve headaches, we've already talked about this. We're going to talk about it again. Again, according to the mskcc.org website, if you use your right thumb and your index finger and you find the space on your left hand between the base of your left thumb and index finger, just push down on that point using a circular motion for 5 minutes. And that is pressure point Li4, also known as Hegu in the Chinese tradition. And after you do that, you could push on the other side as well, because this is on your right and your left hands in the fleshy part between your thumb and your first finger. And so you just push in there And you'll find it because it will probably more than likely be hurting, especially if you have a headache. And that will definitely alleviate the headache. Another one is if you gently massage your temples. Everyone that has like a front part of your head headache, or a stress headache, or a tension headache because your eyes are having problems, rubbing your temples is something that just seems natural, but don't ever push into your temples hard because you can really hurt yourself. Just very, very gently rub your temples, and that is another acupressure way to alleviate a stress headache. Now, sometimes we get very, very sleepy, and fatigue is when you just feel plumb exhausted. It feels like you've been hiking for 20 miles and your whole body's just fatigued. But sometimes you don't feel physically fatigued, but you just feel so sleepy, like you can't help but feeling like you're about to fall asleep, almost like narcolepsy. So we're going to go to acupressure.com and find out what are the points for narcolepsy, drowsiness, and sleepiness. Because that's something that I've noticed that a lot of you have reached out to me and written me on Facebook or in the email saying, it's weird. I just feel like I'm going about my day. Everything seems totally okay. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just feel like I have to sleep completely. It's time to sleep. Even though you had enough sleep during the night, and it's not an allergy. It's just like, it's an overwhelm. Your brain kind of goes, time to sleep now. And it just seems like it's inappropriate. Like when you're driving a car, you're at work, you're at school, whatever you're doing. Conversation with your sweetheart in the middle of sex. It can happen at any time. And so we're going to go over right now what to do. Now, remember when we pushed that GV26 point that's right between your upper lip and your nose, that little tiny notch, go ahead and push that when you're feeling sleepy, and that is going to wake you right up. And it says this will help you sleep better when it's time to sleep. But if you're drowsy, you're very, very drowsy and narcoleptic feeling, like you're just going to fall asleep randomly, just take a deep breath and push on that GV26 point. And you do swift inhalations, just while pushing that. And that's going to wake you right up. Maybe don't do that in the middle of sex, but before you have sex with your sweetheart, maybe do go to the bathroom and do that one so you're not going to fall asleep in the middle if you have that problem. Now, there is a point at the base of the skull, the GB20. That is the same. We just talked about this one earlier, right? It's on the right and the left-hand side. And you could scratch it gently with your nails is one way, or very lightly, or you could push it. And also with the 3 rapid successive inhalations, and that's how you're going to wake up. So before, I forgot what was that. I think it was for headaches or tinnitus. This is also to wake you up. So that will take care of 2 things at once, but only when you breathe in like that. Rapid successive inhalations. You could scratch it with your nails as well. If you have nails, not hard, don't hurt yourself. Again, don't draw blood. You're not a kitty cat with claws, okay? Deep breathing exercise called Upholding Heaven is another way. Let me see if I can find out what that is. It doesn't say. I think it's when you're standing up and you're holding your arms out to your side. And I know it. Yeah, actually, it is. I'm thinking about it. When you're standing up and you're holding your hands outstretched to the heavens, upward, and with your palms up, and you deep breathe during that opens up your lungs, and the oxygen that ensues will help you to be less drowsy. Also, if you briskly rub your lower back in the points B23 and B47, which are right when your waist starts to go in. Now, if you have an all over body weight issue, you don't have much of a waist to speak of, remember where your waist used to be. And it's right, there's 2 points. So use your thumb and your index finger. And this is just above your hips. I would say about 2 or 3 inches, okay? And you just rub, and they're right next to each other. So just use like you're doing a pinching motion, and use circular motions and just rub that lower back, okay? And then there's also a point called ST36 for rejuvenation, and it is below your knees, in front of your knees, and it looks like it's about 1 to 2 inches. I think and it's called the 3 miles energy points. Probably after you rub these, you feel like running 3 miles? I don't know. But if you push on to these points, it's going to give you an energetic lift. It's just going to boost you right up. So I'm pushing on mine right now, and I feel there's like a little nodule. So if you take and I think it's about, actually from the top of your knee, if you're sitting down, it's about 4 or 5 inches down. You're going to find that notch. There's like a nodule. And anytime you find a nodule, like a little point of indentation in your bones, that's where bundles of nerves or nadi gather. They're miniature chakras in the body, and they're also where their nerves gather. So it's energy and nervous points. So you're probably going to be manipulating not only your nervous system to react in a positive way for your health to be boosted, also you're going to be bringing your energy up physically, like your actual energy. So it's probably going to affect your aura as well. So these acupressure points will relieve narcolepsy and drowsiness, and it will prevent further occurrences of it, because acupuncture can balance the brain's neurotransmitters' overall chemistry by stimulating these therapeutic pressure points. And it says if you do like a 20 minutes of lively dancing or swimming every day, biking, running, anything, that will help narcolepsy as well. And if it's really hard to exercise because you're super drowsy, just take a brisk walk for 10 to 20 minutes, like 10 minutes one way and 10 minutes the other way, as fast as you possibly can walk, and that will actually counteract the drowsiness as well. So if you eat a lot of sugar and white flour, no donuts, okay? Because that also leads to, a lot of people have not the gluten factor, but just wheat in general is a source of allergies for a lot of people and inflammation in the body, and that can lead to further drowsiness and fatigue. So it's just kind of important, to eat more green vegetables and just avoid wheat entirely. If you have to make yourself a cake, use almond flour in place. You can even mix almond and coconut flour together. If you use coconut flour, everything comes out really crumbly, so you don't want to do that. But you can use almond flour and even mix the coconut flour to make muffins. And if you want to make lovely bread, you just take a head of cauliflower and shave it in a cheese grater and mix that with eggs. Just scramble the eggs first and then mix that and then bake that in the oven, and it makes a really lovely bread. And you can actually put salsa on it, like pizza sauce, and then put mozzarella cheese, and it's keto friendly, and it can help you lose weight. And use that instead of bread, man. It's better. So much healthier. So the next thing I have noticed is that I've had a lot of problems with my vision, my eyesight going in and out, becoming suddenly very blurry. Like some days I use my reading glasses and other days I don't need them at all. My eyesight's perfect. And it's like, what the hell is happening? How come I can see some days and other days absolutely just blind as a damn bat? And a lot of you might be also having this Ascension symptom. You know, I've had the surgery. My eyes should be better than 20/20. Actually, I've had incredible, like from across the street, I used to be able to make out the edges of the leaves on trees across the street, which is pretty incredible. And so, all right. According to the Pacific College of Oriental Medicine, and that is at pacificcollege.edu, it says your eyes are the two most complex organs in your body, and they should never be taken for granted. Chinese medicine will help your eyes more than you know, and it's never too late to start taking better care of your eyes. I don't know about you guys, but I use my eyes all the time. I don't know what you people do. Maybe you put a blindfold on and walk around your day. Okay, absolutely not. I know you don't. But we're going to go over some of these acupressures points for better vision. So Jingming, Jingming, UB1, and it's called the urinary bladder channel, lies where the inner core of the eye meets the nose. Okay, so bladder 1 and 2 are perhaps the two best points for eye problems of all kinds, from early stage cataracts or glaucoma to hysteria with vision loss. I don't know what that means. I guess if you start to go blind, you start getting hysterical. I'm pushing on it right now to see what happens. So, all right, I let go and I'm looking to see. All right, so Zanju, UB2, is the urinary bladder channel, lies in the depressions at the inner ends of the eyebrows. Okay, so I'm going to push on that one. So again, push not too hard, just firmly, but not too hard. And you could go in circular motions as well. If it makes you dizzy, don't do that because it's going to shake your eyes a little bit. So let's see if that's making that mine actually hurt. So if you push on one of these points and it hurts, that is a clear sign that you do need to keep doing acupressure there until it no longer hurts. That means that you really need stimulation at that bundle of nerve point. Now, Yao, midpoint of the eyebrow in the hollow. Did you guys know if you run your fingers gently and firmly along your eyebrows, there's going to be a little notch, a little nodule, and that's the midpoint of your eyebrow. So this is good for eyebrow problems when they're related to excessive study, mental strain, eye strain, like looking at computers, and when it's related to worry. Did you know that you can have eye problems when you're overly worried about something? Crazy, right? All right, so the Sij Hukong Sanjiao is also called the triple burner channel, SJ23. And now this is located in the depression now at the outside end of the eyebrow. It's a local point good for eye and facial problems. Also, there is Tong Zi Liao. I am, by the way, butchering Chinese right now. Sorry, guys, if you do speak Chinese, I'm not trying. I'm not impressing nobody. I'm impressing nobody with this, okay? I don't know how to pronounce Chinese. I'm doing my best. This is called the gallbladder channel GB1, and it lies in the cavities on the outside corners of the eye socket. You know, it's weird. I have like naturally pushed there. It's so weird. Now, this is good for the eye problems that include conjunctivitis. So that's if you have a swelling, red, sore eyes, photophobia. That's when you have an excessive sensitivity to light. In fact, if you're wearing contacts all the time, chances are you have photophobia, and that's why you always have to wear your sunglasses, even if you're in like the grocery store and the super bright lights are overhead. It's photophobia. So stop wearing contacts. Get the surgery if you can afford it. Trust me on this. I almost lost my eyesight because I wore my contacts too much. This on the outside of the eye sockets, the corners of the eye sockets, this is also good for dry, itchy eyes, early stage cataracts, blurry vision, and also headaches. So Q-Howl midway is between ST1 and GB1 along the orbits of the eyes. And it doesn't really, there's no picture, I don't think. Let me look. Yeah, there's no picture, so it just says what it is. Let's see. But it doesn't, there's no picture. Why is there no picture of where this is? Okay. But along the orbits of the eyes. Okay. And Cheng-Ki ST1 is directly below the pupil on the infraorbital ridge bone. Infra means just on the inside. In fact, I'm touching mine right now. My infraorbital ridge bone, that is. It's not a metaphor for something else. This is a main point for all eye problems. So it's like directly in the very center of your eye socket, and I'm feeling a little ridge there, a little nodule, where it's like a little indentation. And if you just point your fingers to that and don't push too hard where you're going to jab yourself in the eye, just rub on that a little bit and it's going to relieve your eye problems. It says gently massage each acupuncture point around the orbit of the eye, starting with B11 and massaging each point as you go up and outward. So in the very center, and you just keep rubbing all the different points, okay? So you can figure this out as you go along. Just basically rub all along the outer socket of your eye. Do this as often as you like over the course of the day. Breathe deeply as you massage. This helps the cells of your eyes to receive oxygen that they need for healing while they're getting the stimulation of the massage. And Chinese medicine is very good for alleviating. I mean, allopathic medicine has only been around a couple hundred years. Chinese medicine has been around for thousands of years. So this is why I'm mentioning this stuff. Okay, I'm going to look up now heart palpitations. Okay, so panic attacks, heart palpitations, all of this stuff it's easily treatable with acupressure in a matter of minutes. So if you start to have heart palpitations, which my 16-year-old son has had them, and it is an Ascension symptom, make sure you have all the correct minerals, you have your electrolytes balanced. Don't use Gatorade, use Pedialyte, the liquid it's clear, not the Pediasure, which has milk in it or whatever. Do the Pedialyte that they give babies for diarrhea to increase your electrolytes, but don't drink a whole bottle right away, because that can actually really hurt you and give you like a heart attack. But if you sip it or mix it in with juice or water and have it a little bit here and there, when you're feeling like your electrolytes are low, if you're starting to get spasms and cramps, that will definitely help for sure. And that will help with the heart palpitations. All right, according to modernreflexology.com, there is a point called the triple warmer 15. And this is frequently used to treat anxiety, relax nervousness, and heart palpitations in an effective manner. The point is termed the heavenly rejuvenation. It's located on both shoulders midway between the base of the neck and the outside. So it's right in the very center of the outside of your shoulder and where your neck meets your torso. So it's right in the middle, and you just push down on that, okay? And it's about 1/2 an inch below the tops of the shoulders. Okay, in order to activate the point on both shoulders, curve your fingers. Place your right hand on your right shoulder and your left hand on your left shoulder. And then you just push these points firmly with the help of your fingertips. Take long, deep breaths and keep your eyes closed. Don't do this while you're driving. And that's going to help alleviate your heart palpitations. This will reduce nervous tension. This will also take out pain and stiffness in your neck, by the way. And it will increase your resistance to cold and fever. Very interesting, right? Now, another one for anxiety disorder, is the bladder 10. I think we talked about this one. This one's at the base of the skull, very close to the spine on either side. And it's right between your, where your neck meets your head, right in that little notch. So it's situated 1 finger width below the base of the skull on the prominent muscle present 1/2 inch outside of the spine. And this is called the heavenly pillar, because once you stop pushing on it, you get this overwhelming sense of relief. Okay? This helps to aid relieving anxiety, anxiousness, nervousness, stress, insomnia, overexhaustion, heaviness of the head, eye problems, neck pain and stiffness, and also sore throat. So you have to curve your fingers, place the fingertips on the ropey muscles on the neck. Long, slow, deep breaths, pressing firmly during your breathing. I'd say do it for 2 to 5 minutes. And then as you let go, you're going to feel a sensation like the chills, but the good chills, where you kind of go, it's like if a lover kisses your neck very gently and you kind of get that tickly sensation, that kind of a prickly energy. That's what it feels like when you let go of that one. So that one is absolutely imperative for all of those things I just mentioned. Now, the P3 or pericardium is another functional point that you can help control nervousness, anxiety, and heart palpitations. It is also known as the crooked marsh. It's found on the inside of your arm at the lower edge of the elbow, the inside of your elbow, and you can find it when the arm is bent. Now, this is on the left half. Well, on your right arm's on the left half, and on your, it's on the inside half, I should say. And it's just in the crook of your elbow to the, if you say that there's like an inch long channel in the center, it's on the inside point of that. So you just kind of stimulate that, and this will help nausea, wrist pain, elbow pain, heart palpitations, anxiety, as well as chest discomfort. Okay, so pericardium 6 is about 1.5 inches from the base of your hand on the inner part of your arm. This also helps with nausea. And so you can stimulate on both hands by applying firm pressure to the point using your index finger for 1 minute, and again breathing deeply through your nose. This will help heart palpitations, wrist pain, anxiety, nausea. And by the way, if you're ever on a boat getting seasick, or if you're in the back of a car getting car sick, this also helps all forms of motion sickness. And it also helps carpal tunnel syndrome too. And again, this is in the very center of your 2 inches below your wrist on your inner arm. Okay. Now, the next symptom we're going to talk about alleviating through acupuncture is sinus. Have you all been having sinus headaches and sinusitis. You guys have noticed me like sniffling a lot. So guess what? According to lifehacker.com, you can clear your sinuses in 20 seconds with your tongue and your thumb. What? That sounds crazy, right? Try it. Push your tongue against the top of your mouth and place a finger between your eyebrows. Remember the third eye point, right? Push your tongue against the top of your mouth. Okay, I can't talk while I'm doing that. Push your tongue against the top of your mouth, place a finger basically in your third eye point, and apply pressure with both at the same time for 20 seconds. Your sinuses are going to begin to drain. So it says don't aim for a specific point, but just push your tongue flat up against the top of your mouth. I think the point is on the end of your tongue. And that will help alleviate sinus. If you need to drain your sinuses in a hurry, don't reach for the Sudafed. Just reach your tongue to the top of your mouth and push your third eye at the same time. Pretty freaking cool, right? All right, now we're going to go into 5 pressure points to try for insomnia. That's right, not only are we getting sleepy during the day, at night we can't freaking sleep, which creates more drowsiness during the day. So we're going to demystify what we need to do for insomnia. Now the spirit gate point is the first point that you want to look at. It's located at the crease on your outer wrist, below your pinky finger on the inside of your arm. So it's right next to where your hand meets your arm, okay? And you just want to push on that, and again, breathe deeply through your nose, and you can breathe out through your mouth. That will help. Just do it for 2 to 3 minutes, and that's going to help you to be sleepy when you need to be, which is at night. There's another place called the 3 yin intersection. The 3 yin intersection point is located on your inner leg, just above your ankle, and there's a little notch there. If you push right above the center part of your ankle, okay, so locate the highest point of your ankle, count 4 finger widths up your leg above your ankle. Apply deep pressure slightly behind your lower leg bone, your tibia, massaging with circular or up and down motions for 4 to 5 seconds. This will help with not only insomnia, but also with pelvic disorders and menstrual cramps. So, hey, such a deal. This is like really cool. Just pushing on yourself like this can actually alleviate so many symptoms, and it's absolutely free, and you can do it as much as you want. Now, don't use this point on your ankle if you're pregnant. It will induce labor. So don't touch that one at all. I mean, especially, you probably can't even reach your ankles if you're pregnant. Trust me. I've been pregnant twice. I know what that's like. There's another point called bubbling spring. It is on the sole of your foot. It is a small depression that appears just above the middle of your foot when you curl your toes inward. So you're going to find it right in the dead center of your foot, right below your toes, probably about an inch below your toes, where they meet your feet. Okay. This will treat insomnia. So just apply firm pressure and massage for a few minutes using circular or up and down motion. That will ground your energy and induce sleep. Now, the other one is the inner frontier gate point found on your inner forearm between 2 tendons. So it's about an inch below where your hand meets your arm, and you just push right there. Again, this is the nausea point, the same place, okay? So it says it's about 3 finger widths down from the wrist crease. And apply a steady downward pressure between the 2 tendons in the location. Use a circular or up and down motion to massage for only 4 or 5 seconds. This will also help you sleep. It helps you sleep, but also helps you with headaches, stomach pain, and to soothe and alleviate motion sickness and nausea. Now, this is another one called wind pool. The wind pool point is located at the back of your neck. You can find it by feeling for the mastoid bone, remember the one that feels like a hard boob behind your ears? And then you follow the groove around to where your neck muscles attach to the skull, okay? So it's a little bit at the very bottom of the mastoid and straight in. And it looks like it's a couple inches on either side of the spine. So if you can clasp your hands together and open up your palms with your fingers interlocked to create a cup shape with your hands. Use your thumbs to apply a deep, firm pressure toward your skull, using circular or up and down movements to massage this area 4 to 5 seconds. And if you breathe deep, that will help stimulate and unlock that area. It will take the pressure and stiffness out of your neck. So it's going to help reduce respiratory symptoms such as coughing, which might interrupt your sleep. It will also calm your mind and reduce your stress. So pretty cool, right? All right, let's see. There was another one I was going to look up. All right, lower back pain. A lot of you told me you've been having this lower back pain. I've been having stiffness and pain in my lower back for, it feels like 2 years. It feels like I just have a big fat metal plate in my lower back and I can't move at all. It's limited motion with a ton of pain. Even my he's not little anymore, my 16-year-old having the same thing. So the number one is if you push on urinary bladder 23 is the name of the point. It's in your lower middle back. It says how to locate this point is it's on the bladder line, which is basically the middle of the waist, the intermediate point between the rib cage and the hip bone on both sides of the inner edge of the muscle group around the spine called your erector spinae. Okay, now this is going to bring lasting relief from lower back pain by reducing your muscle tension. It feels amazing, they say. I'm going to do it right now and see. You have to put medium pressure and hold it for 60 to 90 seconds. Repeat anytime you need it. And if you have someone else do it for you, then it will help you to relax into the treatment much, much better. This is according to mindbodygreen.com. So let me see here. And dag nabbit, there's no pictures. Yet again, no pictures. I hate when there's no pictures. So let me see. I'm going to try to find this. So the middle of the waist, got that. Okay, intermediate point between the rib cage and the hip bone. Oh, okay. So on the right and the left, okay, you're going to shove your thumbs right into your sides, right above your hips, right below your rib cage, right in that hollow part. Oh my God, it does feel amazing. You guys have got to try this. Wow, and then when I let go, it's just like so much relief. Now this is a fun one. Press into your butt to stimulate gallbladder 30. It's another significant focal point for the treatment of low back pain. It releases tension carried from the low back and hips. So GB30 relieves pain in the lumbar spine, which is your lower part of your spine, and your hips, your legs, and your overall circulation will be improved. So to find this point, okay, you find the tender spot in your buttocks, 1/3 of the way from the highest point of your sacrum, which is the top of your butt crease, to the hip point. Okay, so from your ass crack to your hip, it's right in the middle of that. So maybe don't do this on a subway. You might want to step into the bathroom, go into a stall to do this because it's going to look really weird. But you draw a line between the 2 points, the outside of your butt and your ass crack, right where your ass crack meets. And you're going to find, I found it already on me, yay. So it is a tender spot, so just push on that. And you know what, it does. Actually, there goes some of my pain right now. This is good. Press into the back of your knee crease, and that is urinary bladder 40. This is the exactly middle point behind your knee. And that is going to help immensely with most pain that you feel along your spine. And if you stimulate this point on both legs, you'll alleviate stiffness and low back pain, especially pain symptoms that are caused by herniated discs and also sciatica. It is useful for controlling muscle spasms, knee stiffness, arthritis in the surrounding areas, leg pain, and it will help you release heat from your body. All right, so the next one is push the fleshy point between your pointer finger and your thumb, and it's called the large intestine 4, or LI4. And now we did this, remember, for headaches. So this is like right in the center of the webbing between your thumb and your index finger. Do this on both sides, okay? And again, deep breathing through your nose, out through your mouth when you're doing all of these, okay? Now, this is going to help with when you do all the other points we talked about for low back pain. This is also going to help alleviate it. This also helps stress, tension, anxiety, heart palpitations as well. Press into your outer ankle on urinary bladder 62, also known as the extending vessel. This will release lumbar tension as well as stabilizing the spirit mind, which makes this point, which can be found on the foot, a great choice to soothe anxiety caused by acute back pain. All lower foot points are excellent to treat back pain, which is why it's so useful when you have spasms in your lumbar region, which is the lower back. Okay, so this is how you find it. This point is located in the fleshy depression directly under the lateral or the outside ankle bone. Stimulating, so it's right underneath. There's if you feel underneath your ankle, you're going to find a little depression right at the base of your ankle. It relieves stiffness and inhibited range of motion along your spine. And again, if you feel pain when you push it, well, it means you need to stimulate it, and that's going to alleviate your low back pain. So mix and match the points, whatever feels right for you, and you're going to feel a lot better. So I hope that this has helped with all of your Ascension symptoms. Acupuncture works wonders, but when you're at home, acupressure can be just as good, actually. Well, I wish you luck with all of these. I hope this helps. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for listening to this episode. It just went so rapidly, didn't it? Oh my gosh. Anyway, I really enjoyed this one. I'm so glad God told me to do this one for you guys today, because this is going to absolutely help everything. So that's all I got to say about that for now. Write me at metaphysicalsoulspeak@gmail.com. That's also where you send any donations you wish to send, or if you need a reading, that's how I get paid, is through my PayPal. But go ahead and write me and give me information about upcoming shows if you have any ideas or questions or comments, because if I say something that's confusing, chances are other people also are a little confused. So don't hesitate for a second to ask me a question about anything we cover in the show. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. All right, guys, that's it. That's all I got to say about that. So I'm signing off now with peace and joy and the high vibes of the holy fifth dimension. Until next time, guys, peace. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.